one. So it sounds like it sounds like it's kind of moved around in those areas. We will continue to talk to Mayor Copeland and get what he's saying out of there. But we've got Kevin Rubble, our chief photographer, is on the scene near the elementary school. So we should be having some documentation from us coming out of there. I also have talked to Columbus Police Department. The day shift, which normally gets off about this time, has been held over. CPD is holding the day shift as the night shift comes on. So there's a double shift running of Columbus PD right now. And you know, we haven't had any reports of damages here in Columbus yet, but they clearly are taking precautions. And a few minutes ago, when you were talking about the height of this thing coming across, they had the Columbus Police told officers that were on patrol to take cover and get into as safe a place as they can. So
good advice. We have two. Again, I want to repeat. We had 2 confirmed fatalities in Beauregard from a house collapse, and a host of injuries that are out there. Chuck Williams, thank you for the update. We're working tirelessly to make sure that you guys know where not to go. Chuck just talked about the areas around Smith Station, and Smith Station, it was a middle school, you said. Which one was that?
An elementary?
Station West. I'm sorry, West. I want to make sure
it's on
somebody's asking us, yeah.
Lee Road 294. Don't know the damage. I mean, one of the things when you're reporting this right now, people say the building's gone or it's no longer there. You'll get things. So what I'm saying on that is, when somebody is saying, you know, how extensive something is, I'm just saying significant damage.
Right, gotcha. Thank you, Chuck.
So that's the way I'm reporting it.
Okay, we got the same areas that could be impacted again, as Chuck just told us. So a double whammy. We Mount Airy Road, I think Ms. Hansford, I'm going to make sure Candace is telling me that I think she said she saw a tornado, and that was up back over in Harris County. If I can get back over there here, boy, when you want Facebook to work here in these messages. Folks, if you trying to get a hold of me here, it's just too many people on at the same time, I guess. Was confirmed. I'm going to ask her, was this confirmed? Because I want to make sure, was this confirmed? Okay, so if we're in the areas now, in this area, there's something we have to watch out for. So it's okay. Chuck does have confirmation on that. So let me go back to our radar scan and see what happened here. We made the problem with these systems. We now have the full squall line coming in. The front is still back across, it appears, Mississippi. So we still got, once this is southeast of Columbus, we still got, it's 4:02. We got a couple more hours. This is not over. We got a couple more hours of this stuff. So, alrighty. Okay, so what are we going to do here? We're going to go back to our velocity scan here. And I got to get to a couple of places. So Marion County, that's looking like more and more like wind. We do have circulation. And if you're in Buena Vista, we want everybody to certainly get into a safe spot as we speak here. And this is north of Buena Vista. So Buena Vista, you're okay. Just a quick update. This is going towards Tazewell. And our friends over in Marion County, this is a lot of agriculture, but definitely there's some wind with this as well. We could do a double box, couple box here, whatever you want to call it. The Talbot County, Mount Airy, okay, Dish Network lost all channels. There's people that are on different ways of getting us. They're switching over, Jeff.
And wow, that's why they're not receiving us. So many people are on FaceTime.
Gotcha.
Because you know, our signal seems to be up, but if you're on cable or if you're on the dish, they've lost us at various times, and maybe it's come back where you're at. But that was about 15 minutes ago.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. And now Talbotton is seeing still some rotation, but a broadening effect, flattening out, and a lot of wind damage going all the way down to Po Biddy Crossroad area in downtown Talbotton. Okay, so these areas here certainly could be seeing some good significant damage. The first round that came in didn't do that, so roughly about like 406. Talbotton could be seeing some significant weather coming in there. Again, Olive Branch area just off to the east. So let's back up just a tad here, and I'm going to see what we got here over on this side. So Talbotton's we're looking at. Harris County's clear.
They're still saying they have a debris signature with that Lee County storm.
Okay, so we're back to Lee County. We're going to stick on this because you can see it now. It is showing signs of weakening on velocity scan, but it doesn't mean it's not. It's still, yeah, as Cody said, some of this could still be airborne. It could be after the effect. If this tornado begins to weaken and lift back up, there's really significant updrafts. And you can have debris caught up in these updrafts that could be seen, and there could still be debris falling out of the sky miles away from the physical tornado. That's a new hazard. You don't hear us talk about that very often. It happens. In Mississippi in the early 90s, it happened when I was there. It was 10 miles away one time. And that could cause injuries. Debris can crash right through a rooftop. So again, even though, and Cody said, this front isn't through, today's a day I wouldn't be on your second level of your home if you have a two-story home. If you're in anything that's not physically structured, sound on the ground, get into that when it's safe, when this passes. Otherwise, you should be in the most central part of a building. Hallways in the schools, you know where some of your safe shelters are. If you haven't done this already, only when it's safe, only when it's safe. And we've already had 2 reports of fatalities in Beauregard, and multiple injuries in these areas, and Lee County being hit the hardest today. We still got some debris being picked up, Cody, on this. It's separating a bit. That shows me it may be weakening a little bit, but we're not going off of this yet. And I think if it can only weaken, I'd be happy, but I'm still seeing broad circulation.
Yeah, they said they've had a history of producing a TDS, not producing one at the moment, so it has weakened, so it's cycling, but don't want to let your guard down.
Right.
But we do still have a confirmation of a tornado on the ground in Talbot County.
Okay.
With that storm moving up into areas of near Talbotton, near the Po-Biddy Crossroads area, coming up into areas of Talbot County. Good rotation, and you can see that's going to be coming up into areas along, stretching back up into areas of, let's see, I don't see the highways on this.
Yeah, some reason, I think, click on the street. I maybe picked up something that doesn't have, let's click it, because I had to redo it. It blew out on me. Let's see if we can go ahead.
I'm not getting any streets showing up. But anyway, coming up into areas of Talbotton, moving up into areas of potentially areas of woodland in parts of Talbot County as well, and then eventually be across parts of, or it's right now near Highway 80. I have a road popping up, Macon Highway, that takes you to northern Taylor County, but this would eventually be in southern Upson County. And also have another good indications that just moved north of Buena Vista on Highway, what is that highway? That is Highway 137. Near Tazewell.
Yeah, Tazewell needs to seek shelter immediately. This appears to be more up above, but we don't take it. We take it serious the way today's been going. This can spin up a tornado at any given time, but it is becoming gate to gate. But
we're getting another tornado warning for Muskogee County with that storm in Lee County.
Right, that's the one we've been tracking right here. So let's get back to business here. We got Talbot, Buena Vista. That's areas around Marion County. Could be wind. It could be a tornado, and we're back to our velocity scan here. Let's just go back. We're seeing that, and that is still rotation, and the life of this has been holding up. It appears that it's weakening, but it's not over. And
is this following the same path as the last couple, Bob?
Same path.
Pretty close, Jeff.
Yeah.
I mean, almost identical, which is not good. This is almost identical.
Tornado warning.
Yeah. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and take this at the center in real time, take it all the way up to Whitesville Road, North Columbus. It's how fast as I update this, as fast as this thing is moving. Did we say 60 mph? Let's see if we got on that.
60, and NWS is saying a strong TDS over Talbotton.
Okay, Talbotton now. So now it's a strong TDS. So I'm going to go back and forth for our friends there. So right now we're still focused in on North Columbus. Lee Road 379 in your safe spot. If you're North Smith Station, should be in your safe spot. This, in fact, from the last one I tracked, is this a little bit farther north now. Jeff just asked us, Bob, was this the same track? It's a little bit farther north. So that tells me if it's a little bit farther north, we need to watch this, because this will be hitting different areas of Harris County if it continues in northern Muskogee County, still north of Green Island Hills. We have a TDS right now, and this does look very bad. The storm rotation out here. Here's some pictures you're seeing right now live. This may be the this is the school in Smith Station, West Elementary School in West Smith Station. And this is from the first
Saloon.
Oh, no, this is, what is this again?
Buckwild Saloon.
Buckwild Saloon, yeah, it's Buckwild Saloon. It looks like the school, but you could see what it did. And a lot of people know where that is, right here in Lee County. And the next one will be coming there. I need to get back here because this one is very significant, and we have a lot of folks up in this area here. If you're in the Cook Street area of Talbot County, if you're in the Po-Diddy Road area, County Road 12, Kelly Road, you should be seeking shelter now, if you haven't already. If you're in County Road 1, Polar Road. This is Talbot County, Polar Trace Lane, in areas around the Po-Biddy Road areas, from County Road 10 in Talbot County, Kurt Williams Road, That's to the south of you, but Poe Biddy Road on the southern end of that, going up to County Road 1, seeking shelter immediately now. Should be seeking shelter immediately now because we do have a tornado debris signature on this, and which was noted by here, and you could see significant amount of damage likely with this one here because we're in a populated area, so we're going to hear more damage coming up on this one. Yeah, this is definitely not a good thing. So we're hearts out to Talbot County north of Highway 80 now. Highway 80 north, please seek shelter immediately. If you're on the Poplar Crossroads area, Polar Road area, you should be seeking shelter right now in areas of Talbot County. It's moving rapidly to clip northern part of Taylor and eventually moving out of the news viewing area. We're back in areas around Smith Station with a moderate debris. It looks like there's still that potential that's still looking at rotation, and we're still picking up debris signatures here. That's what when we say TDS, that's what we're looking at. TVS is a vortex signature on a radar. This is a debris signature, and that's what we're looking at. So
Sirens again are going off Columbus and Phoenix City.
And I guess they're rightfully so, Jeff. That's right on target. Jeff, we're now looking in Cody, Lee Road 430 crossing this tornado right now. This is North Smith Station. I had Shelby swearing on the phone. I believe she's a little bit south than this, Lee Road 379, and this is the area that we got to watch. So if we were to continue to track this up in this area here, it's coming up in an area that's very hilly. Sometimes there could be drag, but this has a lot of force to it, and it's been proven that it doesn't have so much to do with it. And in fact, these kind of storms look like they've been getting more enhanced by the elevated terrain today. Okay, let me just kind of pull it back here. We get to Fortson again. This puts you in Fortson. Jeff just said you just heard the sirens off.
Yeah,
in
including
Muskogee.
Fort Benning, too.
Yeah, Fort Benning, you still hear the Chattahoochee County one, but that's out in Buena Vista. Sometimes when you hear these sirens, just tune into a local news source. All our radio stations, Q1073 is another way to get your weather updates. If your signal goes out, and it's going to go out, in some cases, in this case today, WRBL.com. We're live streaming. We're on Facebook with meteorologist Jeff Kelly. We're at, obviously, where you're watching us. If you're at News 3, you're on News 3. So certainly, we're fortunate that nothing has happened. The destruction is bad. I'm hearing right now the destruction is bad right now in North Ellerslie. In Harris County, there's bad destruction. These are people I know personally. Candace Hanser is a very dear friend of mine, and her husband served in the Army, so he's a good man, and those guys know how to respond to these kind of emergency situations. So, Ellerslie, please be careful. There's a lot of debris, and there's a lot of destruction being reported. I take her word for it. We were tracking that. That was north of Central Church. So our residents north of Central Church could have seen all the way to Air Park Drive, south of Waverly Hall. There's significant damage being reported right now. Everybody's taking shelter. Cassandra Bell, that's some good thing at Publix. I think even people that are out, if you have family members out and about working, they do have their safe spots. Don't try to go in a car and try to go get somebody. Not a good day to do that. You should stay put. People, if they're at work, they have work protocol, they'll be fine. Never put yourself in harm's way. Thank you for that report, Cassandra, and I'm so sorry to hear that. This is my old neighborhood. So, Cody. Can you give an update on this one here? I'm going to get some water.
All right, we'll take you to the rotation coming in Columbus right now, moving into areas of North Columbus. Now, we don't really have any indications that this is on the ground right now, so we are watching a radar-indicated tornado at the moment with this one coming into the city of Columbus. But the one of concern right now is the one right in Talbot County, moving into areas between Highway 80 and Highway 36 in Talbot County. This has been producing a tornado on the ground, and there has been from National Weather Service debris damage reported in Talbotton, possibly with this tornado debris signature as it continues to move off towards the east. And we also don't want to leave our friends out in near Tazewell, Sly County. This is just on the eastern edge of our viewing area, coming up into areas of southern Taylor County near Rupert, also coming up into Highway 19. This has very good indications of a tornado on the ground as well. And let's see.
Cody, is there a chance that some people have gotten hit twice?
Possibly.
Some
Near
locations.
possibly with that first tornado that moved through Marvin, Beauregard, and portions of Smith Station that eventually went into Georgia. There was a secondary rotation along the line that spun up that could potentially have produced damage near Marvin. They do have confirmed damage with the second tornado in Lee County, east of Little Texas and west of Marvin. So there has been indications, and I'll put the map back over here, that this tornado right now that has prompted the tornado warning for Muskogee County has produced damage a second time in parts of Marvin and areas of Little Texas in the Boot Heel of Lee County. So that's the storm that pushed through right there through just south of Beauregard, north of Crawford, has produced damage. So we've had 2 reports of damage right now coming into the area, and we're getting a tornado warning for Barber County, Bullock County, and Pike County. This is going to be near the Linwood area or 12 miles northeast of Troy, moving towards the northeast at 55 miles per hour. So our friends down in Eufaula, we haven't talked about you all a lot today, but we are getting those showers and those tornadoes moving into your region right now. It's coming into the southern portion of Bullock County, just near, I would say, just south of the Highway 82 corridor, so coming up into areas of Clayton, potentially coming up into areas of Eufaula with that area of rotation, and we'll go to the velocity, and you can see this is right near the county line of Pike County and Macon County with that area of rotation right here. So if you are in Eufaula, you have some time, but go ahead and prepare. You are under a tornado warning, like we've said all afternoon. A basement, if you have it, interior, hallway, bathroom, away from windows, lowest floor of a 2-story home. If it's a single-story home, get into the most center portion of that of the home. And right now we have 4 active tornado warnings. 4 active tornado warnings, and I'll just briefly say this before we go to Bob. Talbot County, you're under tornado warning exiting into Upson. Northern Muskogee, Southern Harris still under a tornado warning. Also parts of Marion County, Sly County, Taylor County, you're under a tornado warning as well, and we just had a new tornado warning issued for parts of that is Bullock County and Barber County, and that Bullock or Barber County storm goes until 4:15 Central Time for our friends down in Eufaula. So Eufaula has time to prepare. Go ahead and prepare right now because you still have some time in Eufaula, but you don't want to wait till the last minute to get in those tornado precautions. Good news, the tornado warning for Muskogee County has been canceled, so they've had enough knowledge to expire that tornado warning for Muskogee County. Good news, let's say good news. Chambers County, areas of Auburn, Opelika, you are in the clear right now. Areas of Montgomery are in the clear. So as this line continues to push through, we'll start to clear it west to east, north to south. So we're not out of the woods just yet for our friends in our southern viewing area, but we are slowly transitioning into this cold front where we still could have those spin-up tornadoes across the region. And the good indications of one is right now coming up the areas of southern western Barber County, southern Bullock County with this area of rotation right now. Now these are not going to be the discrete cell variety. These are tornadoes embedded with the squall line. We call this line a QLCS, a quasi-linear convective system. Get a little kink in the line, start to get a little air of rotation, and that's what we have with this storm that's moving up into areas of US 29, going to be moving up into areas of northern Barber County. If you're in Louisville, Baker Hill, you're good at the moment, but your threat is not over. If you're towards the north in Russell County, you still have a ways to go with some heavy rain. Bob.
Yeah, that's around. Yeah, those are the areas around south of Cottonton, and there's a big paper plant down there. I got Brad Baker on the line. Brad, could you just give me a quick update where you're at and what you have seen or what you're seeing?
Hey, Bob. We are coming back from a trip in North Carolina and are trying to get home, and the interstate at Smith Road is blocked. So we got off on the Smith Road exit and went left on the Smith Road going west to try to get around it, and that's blocked. And so then we went back and went went west over to Whitesville Road, and Whitesville Road is also blocked. So we're trying to find a way to get home to Midtown, and right now we can't. So we're going back north to the Mulberry Grove exit, to see if we, and there's a big chunk of cars with us, to see if we can find a way either towards River Road or towards, I guess, towards the east in Catala, to be able to get south, I guess, on Veterans Parkway. Do you have any idea of what's open?
This is what I'm going to tell you right now. The tornado exactly confirms what you just said. It passed. We were on the air when it was going right over the Smith Road exit. Whitesville Road, anywhere west you go, you're going to encounter the same thing, because that tornado path went right in those areas, so there's probably more hazards there for you. The irony is it's almost like you want to go east and then south, if that makes sense. Get back, if you could get east on maybe 80, and then maybe kind of, and it's getting tricky, but you still, in my opinion right now, where you're at, I'd rather see you, just to be safe, if you could go farther north. And I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because right now, if anybody's sitting here traveling and they're streaming while they're driving, I mean, that's the beauty of our technology. Anywhere around, if you get the Lee County area, you'd be better served in that reason, that capacity. We're thankful that last Smith station's seen enough today. We had 2 fatalities in Beauregard. Extensive damage, even in Ellerslie, Georgia area, south of Waverly Hall, reports of that, and we're all on the scene there. So if you could kind of get yourself north and then kind of just wait a second and get yourself back over, I'm trying to think where you can cut over where River Road is, and 27, and maybe cut back down in 85, going through 85 that way. Or just play it safe. Don't keep driving south until all this stuff is passed.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Brad Baker, on the line there. Thank you, Brad, and he's safe, and a lot of our folks out on the road here doing their thing here today. So the good thing is, if there's a good thing, and there's nothing good about this today.
Well, there is one good thing. This is happening during the daytime, and not at night,
Jeff,
not in the morning. If there was any, and that's about the only thing we can find that's good, it's during the daylight hours.
You know what, Jeff, that's right. It would have been worse. And every life matters to us, and our hearts go out to the 2 in Beauregard. Those families, we are so sorry. It's just we got a few people, and we thank you. You saved a lot of lives today, and local people did, but I got to tell you, it's, technology, without it, we couldn't do
Let's
this
thank
job.
our first responders out there,
Big
too.
time.
The police and the fire are so busy right now. I got a report here on Facebook Live. A guy broke his leg, apparently with a tree came down on him. So we're going to have a lot of stories over the next couple of days.
So in Jeff, here we are on 29 in Alabama. We're looking at these areas. We still got a little tight rotation on this. These continue. I'm hoping that I'm looking at what's going on. We're out of Talbot County now. We're seeing this coming out to Rupert, and some of our friends coming in here out of areas around Marion County. You're clear. I want to make that clear that Buena Vista right now, you're clear, but please just kind of hang tight for the rest of the night until this front comes through. So you could still see that. This still has some good signature to it. Pardon me, a lot of times you get a lot stronger when you see a lot of the inflow and outflow get south and north of that line. But again, there's been damage reported with that as well. That's going into the areas out of our viewing area. So we're going to be focused highly on our friends here out of Talbot County now. That's already out of the area. And it looks like this point, there's a couple areas of rotation exiting out of Carsonville and 80. Possible weak tornado right through here. And there's another one right through here, and even one on the south end of that. Some possible good wind damage here on Georgia Highway 19, and that runs south into Sly County as well. And this is not areas in Sly County. I just want to point that out. It's all north of you guys. But Talbot County, Talbotton, you're okay. Harris County, you're good now. It's all about cleanup after this front moves through. Leave it to the first responders, as Jeff just said, because without them, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. I think right now, yeah, if you guys can, a couple things. We're going to stay, but Elizabeth White, and I think, is she on her page, Gene? Right, she's Facebook. Is she at Let's just listen in right now. Let's listen in.
Fatalities, multiple injuries. What can you
right
tell
now,
us?
I can't comment on that at this time.
What can we do besides stay at home? What can people do to help out?
Continue to monitor the weather and pray for the people that's in need and the first responders out here today.
Byron, this is massive. We're praying for you guys, everybody involved, as well as first responders. Byron Prather, the chief of the Opelika Fire Department here along Lee Road 38, Marvin Parkway. It looks like a bomb has gone off here. What apparently is a massive tornado in this area of Beauregard. Again, multiple power lines are down. You heard Chief Prather say some of them are live. So the best thing you can do for the community here and the people that are dealing with this catastrophe is to please stay at home. And as you heard Chief Byron Prather, he's asking for your prayers. It just looks like a war zone down here. I can't even tell you. What can we do besides stay at home? You heard him say where we came through earlier on that Facebook Live, there was a command center being set up at Beauregard Fire Station number 3. That's when I did the first Facebook Live that I lost you guys on. But a command center is being set up there as multiple first responders are trying to help the injured and the families impacted by this. Apparently is a massive tornado in this area of Beauregard. Trees down, debris everywhere, uprooted. Chief Prather say some of them are live. And again, we are hearing 2 fatalities for the community here and several injuries. Catastrophe is to please stay at home. And as you heard, Chief, the power lines are down. He's asking for your prayers.
You're on, Bob.
Okay, and again, we're live streaming with Elizabeth White showing you a tremendous amount of damage in the Beauregard area. 2 reports of fatalities, multiple injuries, and right now along Alabama 239 in Barber County, coming out of southern Russell County, these are the areas we're looking at. So we're in southern Russell County, right around the Blues Old Stand area. People know where that is, and another tornado possibly here, and likely one that will be on the ground. If you're in the Mount Andrew area, County Road 25 in Barber County, you can see at the bottom of your screen here, I would certainly be in your safe spot now, even though it's a few minutes away. We're talking 36 minutes. It's 10 minutes away from you. So anybody in the Smut-Eye, Pickett, Mount Andrew area, right up to about 36 minutes, and even before then, you should be in your safe spot now. This is right along Alabama 51 through Barber County and right around County Road 25 in Barber County, the Garmin Crossroads area. The damage you're looking at on the left part of your screen is something that we got to leave the first responders. Folks want to go out and inspect. Power lines could electrocute you. Don't take a chance. Our first responders, we got to support them. They don't want you on the roads to add any more injuries or hazards. If you get injured and they're trying to focus in on this, you're adding more insult to injury. So please, if you have no business being outdoors, you should not be outdoors. End of story. If you have a first responder that's got to come get you, it may not happen right away because they're responding to people who have multiple injuries right now. As you're looking here on the left part of your screen, Beauregard, Alabama, where we had 2 fatalities. And we actually had a school, West Smith Station School, certainly damaged. You know about some of the local bars and right along 231 and 431 being heavily impacted north of these areas. You could see what happened. This was a very heavily wooded area here, at least a mile width. So this tornado was teetering on maybe 1.5 miles to 2 miles wide, it looks like, in just looking at this and what we saw on radar. So this is significant stuff. We also, Ellerslie, Georgia, south of Waverly Hall, there's been some damage around Mount Airy Road. This is the 2900 block. Candace Hansford, who I know very closely, is said they got some pretty serious damage from that same cell that came through, what you're seeing here on the screen on the left side where Elizabeth White is. That same storm went as far over in parts of Ellerslie, Georgia. We're seeing more tightly wrapped. It's starting to really start to pick up here. Now we're seeing it move a little bit farther north and east right now. And I'm going to take it up here in Barber and Bullitt counties. This is southern Bullitt County right now before we get into areas of Barber County. It looks like there's even 2 areas of rotation starting to show up here. So maybe multiple isolated tornadoes or some wind, at least wind to the south of this, and one to the north of that. So this here, I'm going to go ahead and track it at roughly 55. I'm giving the times a little bit faster for your safety. So it's not going to be exact, but I need to get you prepared ahead of time. I'll add another 5 minutes to it for Pickett and Mount Andrew in areas around Barber County. This is coming out of Bullitt County and these areas here. So please, please, please seek shelter immediately in these areas, the most lowest level of your house. It appears too, on the southern end of this, wow, you got a lot of wind ejecting ahead of the squall line. This is. You were talking earlier, Cody, about the QLCS and these areas here, which are squall line driven, but you have rotation behind it, has been something that has been certainly present here today. Certainly a lot of wind in Clayton. You could be seeing some strong wind gusts. Last Sunday, Clayton, you didn't have any wind damage. You're at it again. It seems these areas of Barber County, we were tracking this last week from a severe thunderstorm complex. This one is more the real deal here, guys, down in this area. If we're up around the area where we see the rotation of this tornado track, could take it up to Alabama 82, which would be around the Comer area, 43 minutes after the hour local time. It's 29 minutes now, so roughly just figure the next 13 minutes or so you should be in your safe spot. If you're in Comer, Alabama, Barber County, right now it's an extreme northwest part of Barber County as we speak in this area. Okay, got a call. What's happening now in Harris County, my wife Teresa has just informed me that all Harris County Sheriff Jolly and his team, great people, all the sheriff's tail first responders are putting out a voice message. So phones are ringing if you have phone service and telling everyone to stay off the roads. This is what I was saying today. I said this today emphatically. A First Alert Weather Team's been talking about this. No need to be on the road. So please, as I just mentioned again, Sheriff Jolly informing everybody, please, there's no reason to be on the roadways, because if they have to come help you, you're interrupting their service of trying to help somebody else. So let's avoid trying to do this. I know this is very troubling. It's upsetting, and something you don't see. Many you'll hear them tomorrow. This has never happened in my life, and although we've been doing this for years, when it impacts you, it's a big deal, and now it's something we all know. So please keep perspective. I want to be that voice of reason. Please use that common sense that you have. I know you do. This is the day we have to exercise this, please. Again, on the left part of the screen, you're watching live shot here coming out of Beauregard. Elizabeth White is out on the scene. There have been 2 deaths reported in this area. They had another round come through. Right now, we're seeing this system flatten out. It's in Barber County, and I'm happy to report that, but not happy to report that damaging winds are still present along this. This almost looks like it could be more downbursts now, which could take you to Highway 431 and 285. This would be areas around Clayton, Osco, Batesville. You should seek shelter immediately in Barber County. This is a tornado warning. We have a little rotation behind this, but we have excelling winds that are coming out ahead of it. So Mount Andrew should be in your safe spot right now. That's Alabama 51. Continue on this area here, because this could bring in some damaging wind and can spin up a tornado with this kind of setup. You could get some rotation along this axis, we refer to it as. Okay, so we're focused on that. Out of our county, everybody else is good. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning with rotation. We're going to watch this for Warm Springs, Meriwether County, northeast Harris County now, southeast part of Troup County, and going into areas around, really not southeast Troup, let me back up a bit. This is western Meriwether County, an extreme right on the county line, right where Harris County and right where Meriwether County connect. Certainly needs to be watched for potential damaging wind and much more. Jeff Kelly is shaking his hand. He is certainly, I could see it, man. You're trying to do live streaming. We're live streaming. We're at WRBL.com. We're on all the radio stations with our PNB broadcast partners.
Look at that damage, Bob.
That is just devastating. This is not something that we report on it. And I'll just say it. I mean, I just pray that this wouldn't happen today.
Well, the question is, Bob, if you can go out a little wider, people want to know.
Yeah, let me get back.
Just real quick to take a real wide shot to see when we might have some relief here. And then
Okay, here, we'll get you
a
scan.
You can see we're going to be busy for several hours here still, correct?
This is Marvin Parkway and Beauregard, Jeff, it looks like. Were you looking at?
Okay, yeah.
I think you're hearing Gene too, right? I don't want to interrupt you.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not? Okay, so that is Marvin Parkway in Beauregard. We're getting reports of it, and that's where Elizabeth White is right now. Our reporters, as much as we don't put ourselves in harm's way, are trained to do this, to bring it to you. We have protocol set in, and we play it safe with our people too. We don't put them in harm's way. They're with emergency officials. We do not encourage anybody, Cody, as many times as we've seen this, and you've been here in your tenure here, and Jeff's, we don't put anyone in harm's way. We should never go out and assess ourselves. It's so tempting to, but I think we can. What I'm going to do is, at the bottom of your screen, we're going to track this. We'll be tracking storms and we're going to go back to Elizabeth White live in Beauregard and Marvin Parkway.
We're going to be busy for several hours here still, correct?
This is Marvin Parkway and Beauregard, Jeff, it looks like. Were you looking at?
Okay, yeah.
I think you're hearing Gene too, right? I don't want to interrupt you.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not? Okay, so that is Marvin Parkway in Beauregard we're getting reports of, and that's where Elizabeth White is right now. Our reporters, as much as we don't put ourselves in harm's way, are trained. There's a tornado warning in Barber County. Yeah, we're going to keep the video going up there in Beauregard, which seems to be the hardest hit.
Could you put it in a small box? Maybe do that.
Yeah,
and then put the radar back up for the tornado warning.
Yeah, let's if we could do that real quick.
Just for our friends over in Eufaula coming in, it has some strong rotation, but it looks like it's indicating possibly some straight line winds at the moment.
Which are they can be just as life-threatening, and we get caught up. If it's not a tornado, therefore it's okay. That's not true. It's more broad, and we're just as concerned about this as well. So the tornado warning continues coming past Alabama 87. And they'll put that live video back in the box in a minute if you want to see that. But Coffee and Dale counties, it looks like, are now included in part of this too. And I'm going to go a little bit farther north, as Cody's pointing out, in Barber. I was just seeing what was going on down there. So this does have some weak rotation in it. There's that threat of a lot of wind damage come with it. And I'm going to tell you, the potency of the system, what we've seen, it's too easy to say, well, this one's not as bad as the other one. We take all these have significant winds now in this portion of the storm. So we continue to track it in this direction. I think it only bodes well if we can zoom in a little closer. Let's see what we got. If you're in the County Road 49 area in Barber County, the Kennedy Road area, Poorhouse Road, Trawick Road, County Road 49. This is the Coolidge Mill Road area, all east of 51. This is the Reise Road area. All please get in your safe spot right now. These are damaging winds. They have a little rotation in them, and thunderstorms is what they are. Thunderstorm winds are rotating just by what they are, and they produce damaging wind, and it can do just as much destruction as a tornado. In this particular day, in this case, this is what we're seeing. These are becoming more linear. We do got to watch closely because the nature of this is it's flowing out, could have some rotation or spin with this. So that's what's really perhaps more troubling, if you will, when you see this kind of activity. So here we are looking like this and taking us to Alabama 80. So we'll take a peek at that, obviously, and certainly not heavily populated in this area, but every life matters to us, and there are a lot of farmers in here, I know, before we get into the populated area of Eufaula. So maybe I could track this a little bit better.
Some more video coming in, Bob?
Okay, we got more video coming in. Let's take a look. Jeff, what are we seeing? See what we're looking at. I'm sorry, because Jeff doesn't, This is, we got ambulances on the scene. We'll find out in a second.
Maybe.
Well, okay, we're still in Beauregard, Jeff. We're still in Beauregard. We do have a reporter up in the Ellerslie. We got a lot of folks asking me around the Mount Airy Road area that was hit really hard. South kind of is considered South Waverly Hall. And the two main areas that we heard that were hit very hard, again, we'll go back to not quite, I want to say, areas around Little Texas. Those areas coming into South Lee County, southwest, the Boot Hill area, Cody, and it took us right into areas around Smith, Alabama, or Smith Station, and all those areas west of that and north of that. We've had significant damage reported. Beauregard being one of them that you saw on your screen here, that will be popping up here in just a bit once we get that picture set. And again, in Ellerslie, Georgia, south of Waverly Hall, were other areas that we've had eyes on the ground that are actually telling us this at this point. So two very areas focus. At this time, Beauregard being the hardest hit, and that being said, 2 fatalities that we have just sadly had a report on. And of course, on top of that, we've had multiple injuries. Meteorologist Jeff Kelly has been just relaying some of those you've seen, and I don't think anybody would be feigning it, but you said maybe on a broken leg, somebody's saying, debris falling and trees falling down on them. I mean, this is something that we don't typically
Everything
see.
You would expect has happened at this point.
Yeah.
With building structures damaged, people have died in this, and we've had a couple of injuries reported. And again, the damage that you could see on some of the video we've come in. So everything that, and the big question everybody has here on Facebook Live again, Bob, is how much longer are we going to go with this?
Yeah, the way it looks now, and we're still tracking this, obviously this wind is some rotation in the center of it, and you can see there's there's some good velocity scans with some strong winds coming towards Eufaula. So I would say, Jeff, I'm going to give you a full line in just a second here, and that's a good way to look at it. Eufaula, 58 minutes. So 20 minutes if you're in Eufaula, and then eventually going into Georgetown areas too, and Georgia, we want people to understand that too. Significant winds. Georgetown, Eufaula, back into areas around Stewart County. We'll track that for you coming up. But that line extends a little bit farther south of Clayton, and it's moving obviously a bit eastward, which would take you again into Eufaula and beyond that. And again, roughly to the top of the hour, but I would still get into a safe spot right now. Jeff was pointing out how much longer could this possibly be. Well, the evidence we're seeing, I'm going to go to what's called NORAD radar, and because I want to see where our front lies, I'm going to take off what's called live radar. And what you're looking at now, and just looking at this, could there be residual moisture behind? I'm almost thinking, Cody, too, we probably should go
I think after this main line comes in, we will be done. The air would be clear.
Sure.
The instability would be cleared with that main line of energy.
Okay, so what we're doing right now, I'm going to do a couple things here just so we can kind of get some kind of analysis here. So we'll take it back.
Because I believe they've already cleared the tornado watch for a good portion of Alabama. Let me find that right now.
And again, we're emphasizing our viewing area because you can see off to the east still active, but leaving our viewing area.
Okay, yep.
If you are in Chambers County, Lee County, Macon County, Montgomery County, the tornado watch has been canceled. So that's good news.
That's excellent news. Okay. It's interesting. The same momentum in line is almost identical to the movement of these storms ahead of it, which is an interesting phenomenon as we constantly learn more and more about these weather patterns here. So let's look. Multiple tornadoes back here. So if Jeff and Cody want to know where are we on this, let's go back. Let me go ahead, and I'm just going to go ahead and use this conservatively. I think it would be good to go 52. Let me just say here, and let's go right now. So if we're looking at right now conditions along the worst part of this, and it's going to kink just a little bit, I'm just going to take it in our viewing area to where it exits. It's safe to say, okay, I'm going to get a better one than that. Macon, 5:45 local time, Eastern time, like an hour
Say
by the
6
time
o'clock?
it comes to Macon, Georgia. I would even say, believe it or not, less than that. Let's just see if it's less than an hour. We're still weather alert for our counties. East Central Alabama, really where you see here, I'm going to show you in a minute who's clear, so our folks can kind of relax, take a breath here. I got to get closer, Doug, on it, because it's not, get
Just
closer.
do that.
Yeah, I was trying to do that part. Yeah, the upper portion I'm not too. This is where we are here. I think
While you do that, it looks like we're getting a good wrap up in this area of rotation in Barber County, possibly 2 areas coming up, and we do have gate-to-gate velocity on this off-air product, so there's probably good indications of a tornado likely developing north of Clayton, south of US Highway 82, pretty rural out across this region. But if you are in Eufaula, have a Eufaula address, take tornado precautions. I know you've been under this tornado warning for a long time. There's still a potential as this continues to push eastward.
Good analysis, Cody. That's another view of technology we have at our hands and fingertips that cannot be shared on air. It's just the way our technology is going, but we have a lot of tools and resources. So this whole line, the question meteorologist Jeff Kelly was getting, looks like, I would say safely, if you look at Americus, that will be our end. When it's going through Americus, southeast of Sumter County, our viewers here in Americus, which I know you folks are on edge here today as well. So far, you've been okay, but 29 minutes after 5. So we'll just say 5:30. Less than an hour is what I was kind of estimating. So less than an hour, just say an hour, that this will be out in all southeast. But if you don't have any rain now in areas around Interstate 85 northwestward, Valley, Lynette, LaGrange, Georgia, western parts of Harris County, most of Harris County now, northwest Muskogee, most of Muskogee, and Columbus and Phoenix City are looking good. And even Macon County in Alabama. If you're in Tuskegee, Union Springs, you're looking good in Bullock County. So I just want you to know that. South of Pike County, Alabama, another tornado warning. And Cody, and I'm looking at his, so I can actually look off here. I could see, this is NORAD data. These are longer scans, and this is interesting that I could see a TVS on that a little bit. We are seeing more gate-to-gate now, Cody, on our velocity. This isn't base, is it? I think I had this on velocity.
You get a better scan from Maxwell than Fort Rucker.
Yeah, isn't it strange?
So, and I believe Fort Rucker may be closer, so you're getting the lower spin, so the
what I need.
rotation is not all the way down to the ground, and the Maxwell is farther away, so you're getting the higher end of the spectrum. So it's rotating in the upper levels, but it's not getting all the way down to the ground just yet.
So we're scanning at about a half degree from where, right now, I'm going right where Fort Rucker is. If I was to increase this, could see how it would overshoot it. So that top is pretty high. So let me go back to about a half a degree. That seems to be more relevant here. And we are, we definitely need to stay on this too, because we got a lot of folks here too. So let's get you guys are the only ones. So right now, if you're just joining us, Barber County is really our main area. If you're a County Road 79 in these areas here, Barber County, I would seek shelter immediately. Severe thunderstorm warning back into Talbot County, Georgia. I guess it would be, is that making sure that's east Talbot County, if you can look for me. Ellerslie Place, hang on a second, I got a report. Ellerslie Place off of 315, we talked about that. I was telling you about Mount Airy Road in Ellerslie getting hit pretty hard. The hardest part in Harris County, we heard Smiths Road exit off of Interstate 185. We've got to watch those neighborhoods in Whitesville. It continued outside of Fortson, but Ellerslie seemed to get hit pretty hard, and along with Ellerslie Place. And for some reason, I got folks trying to send me stuff, and it is just jammed up. If you know, we got to figure out another way that we can figure this out here, help this out. And absolutely, let me see if some folks can do that. I don't know who called me on this one here, but folks, if you can just text me and let me know. I just got to just be careful. Just give me a call. Yeah, if you could do all pictures and videos at news@WRBL.com, that would really help me out a lot. News@WRBL.com would help me a lot. So, Cody, we do have likely a tornado here and gusty winds. County Road 79.
Yeah, it's really spun up its
sure
rotation
did.
in just the
Sure-
last couple of
sure did.
scans. That's just the that just shows you what kind of atmosphere we had today across the region, and we continue to have for our southern viewing area. It doesn't take much to get anything to rotate, especially this one is along the actual squall line. So just a little kink, it waited maybe 30 minutes or so before it actually got really good rotation, and it is gate to gate right now. And for the most part, it looks like it may miss Eufaula.
Yeah.
But if you are areas to the north, I'd also watch that secondary location just to the south of it. That actually could become the better rotation as we go along. That northern one may
So
occlude.
Eufaula, I need Eufaula to definitely, you guys in Eufaula, really please take your safe spot right now. So we're looking at these two areas, Cody. That's our next observation, and that's likely going to happen. If anything, this is trying to develop. There's wind circulating aloft. Here's where we do have a tornado. I'm going to see any. I don't have any CC on this. This is going to be really tough on this one. Let me just go back. But
it looks to me like the first good rotation has occluded. So it has good rotation right now. Eventually, that southern circulation will get the good inflow, start to rotate. So two areas of concern right now across parts of Eufaula. The first one could impact parts of you see Lugo, Howell, and then eventually move up into portions of Stewart County.
yeah, once you get into Stewart, we'll be talking about Coffington area, and you guys know here. So we've got marinas here. We got a lot of homes right along that area on the lake, the lakes here. Okay, so Courtney Malden sending me some video here, folks. We got news at, gosh, if they can hear me, I'm going to tell them they could post the news at WRBL, so we could share it with this news at WRBL.com. You can do that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, this is a full-time job for someone over here.
And it looks like we're starting to get a little debris signature on the off-air product of correlation coefficient. So there's likely something on the ground with this rotation, and it matches up pretty well with the velocity with this storm in Barber County.
Okay, so we're going to keep these two areas looking at. Cody was mentioning occluded. It's like a front. It behaves the same way where when you start seeing this thing wrap inside itself and connect again, it almost becomes a 180. That's when you have to look at. And you can see this last scan here. It's starting to definitely twist. It's definitely twisting. And look to the south of that. It's we're watching you right. There's another. We got some more circulation on this too, right here. This is very tightly wrapped, and these are the areas that we got to watch. So Eufaula, I still want you all to. It'll be interesting to see how this splits off here. Let me see if we could put it in a loop form here. That's slow. Has to keep the fog falling back to 3 hours here. Let me get back to 1 hour and save this. Okay, save it. New show element here. Okay. And that helps us a little bit to see what's going on here. Back it up. We have, if you're talking to anybody on the phone, there's a lot of debris on Interstate 185 and Smith Station, Smith Road, actually. It's a Smith Road exit. It's not Smith Station. Smith Road exit on 185. So please, there's no reason to be traveling up there. If anyone's calling you, they should not, going south, they're going to hit more debris. Whitesville Road area, there'll probably be more debris. We haven't had any reports yet from that. But Beauregard, the hardest hit. We had 2 fatalities, multiple injuries in Smith, Alabama, and right around Beauregard with lots of damage. And so far, Harris County, it appears to be anywhere from Mount Airy Road in Harris County, in that area of Harris County, all the way down into Ellerslie. We do have definitely debris. Look how this is calming out and getting a second one forming on it. So let me give a better track here. And Cody, we probably go do a CC on here live on TV. Yep, there she is. You got a tornado debris signature. You got a TDS right now, and it's not often we see this. So,
and that's on the northern rotation.
Yes.
We do have 2 areas of concern. The first one you can see is on the ground now, producing damage.
That's damage on the ground right now. Tornado, take your shelter. If you're in Howe, Wailani, and Barber County, seek shelter immediately. This is just to the west of 431. Seek shelter immediately. Let's go back further.
And if you're on Lake Point,
Yes.
if you're camping, seek shelter now as well.
Yes. Spring Hill Road, 81, just around the Lugo area. Seek shelter immediately right now. Confirmed tornado on the ground. Debris on the ground. This is a dangerous situation. You should right now be in your safe spot along Alabama 82, right around Lugo. Spring Chill. This is the Spring Chill Road area. And this will take it all the way back out farther east. If you're around the Camage Road in the Howe area, you should now be in your safe spot right now in Barber County. This is a confirmed tornado. It is definitely on the ground. We are looking at this back here. We'll go a little bit farther back to the south here a little bit, and I'm going to get back. We don't have any debris in the southern edge of this. We'll go back to velocity and certainly some wind and circulation with this. So this could pose around Eufaula. Be prepared for winds really picking up right around this area here. Okay, so that's the wind. And let's show you where we know the tornado for sure is right up here, going towards the areas around Howe area, and another bit of circulation with significant wind coming in this area as well. Let me see if we can, this is kind of moving rapidly, you can see in the last scan. So this is going to miss Eufaula, okay? So if you're in Eufaula, in this last scan, this is going to miss you. That's kind of traveling in this direction, just so you know. Let me back out a little bit so we can get a better view so you guys can understand if you're watching this. So if you're in Eufaula, I'm going to put Eufaula at the bottom of the screen. It's a populated area here. And our viewers and our friends here, we want to make sure. So if we're here, that's where that's tracking to the north of that. So again, we're not getting too good on street level, but the tornado with the debris signature could continue up in Coffington, definitely. Let's see. Okay. And just out of, I think just out of some people insist on during severe weather to put their advertisements on. That's not a good thing to do. Be a good citizen, please, folks. Thank you for listening. Veterans Parkway is blocked right now, and this is Brad. We talked to Brad Baker earlier. I'm going to try to get him back on the line. As we said, Veterans Parkway is blocked between Almond Road, right here, Almond Road and Wooldridge. Still searching for a way to get back home in Midtown. Cannot get to Midtown from Interstate 185. Any info of whether the interstate is passable yet on Smith Road? I just mentioned this a bit because that was a tornado and that was a debris signature. So the tornado passed around the Smith Road exit along Interstate 185, continued through Harris County, and did significant damage being reported around Mount Airy and parts of Ellerslie Place. Any information south of Smith Road, I don't really have at this point, but Whitesville Interstate, Smith Road, Veterans Parkway, and Bon Acre are all blocked. And these areas, every year, we had that back-to-back tornadoes last year. The Bon Acre, it's a Catala area. So now we're getting reports, Catala, lots of debris on the roadways, lots of trees down. That would believe that would be a lot of power lines down there as well. So anywhere from Catala, and that would go a little bit, if you're just to travel a little bit west, go back west to Interstate 185. A lot of debris down, and it's blocked as we speak. On the air right now, you're focused on a tornado, and Cody's going to grab that for a second here, over on areas around Barber County. We got a tornado that looks like it's going to tighten up a little bit around Lugo, the wind ahead of it, and there's debris signatures. Tornado, a ball, there's definitely debris that's on here. We have a new tornado warning right now.
Yep.
Yep.
That's for that.
It's for that.
It's really for the second circulation.
Second circulation, yeah. So we're going to have 2 in Barber County, but that is north of Eufaula. See you guys in Eufaula? That's north of you. So again, the tracks are going to be all north of you. So you got Wailani, Coffinton, and Sanford should seek shelter immediately. North of Eufaula, this is all north of Eufaula, right on 431. You know where I'm at. So these are the areas around those county areas. There's still Barber County at this point, and we'll eventually move across in the areas of Stewart County. We'll keep an eye on that. We have 2 tornado warnings, and the second one right up here. I'm going to take it the same way, but it's just legging to the north and west. Lugo, Howe. We're talking about right at the top of the hour, before the top of the hour for Lugo. Wailani, again, is in the same one. You got 2. You got kind of a double whammy here, and they're both kind of coming together, and we're going to see that converge a little bit in the backside. So if you're in Wailani, 4:05, 10 minutes after the hour, that's when it gets into Stewart County in the Coffinton area. But right now, the first 3 times that we're looking at are Barber County and those 3 areas that we're talking about. If anybody, if nobody could go, I don't need anybody to go out and try to look at anything still. Anybody thinking they have to go out, I would not do that. I would not do that at all. We have certainly a lot going on. I suppose, any kind of, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to break away here. I'm going to talk to my news director offline here just for a second because I have an idea. But I'll wait until Cody gets back here. Help. Okay. Still. Okay. Okay, so we got 2 multiple tornado warnings right now, and they're both converging. This is unbelievable here to see something like this. Look at this, how it's holding up. So we have 2. It's almost like one. If you're in the Lugo area, you need to seek shelter right now. We're going to take this all the way up into areas around Stewart County. This is a very dangerous situation, and right into Stewart County. This is that track.
We just got a new warning for Stewart.
Stewart County now. I was surprised it took them, but we knew this was coming in here. On the other side of the screen, we do have, we're going to take right now, we're going to take Elizabeth White live right now. And we can hear her. Let's listen into her live report right now.
You're hearing from multiple first responders that there are multiple fatalities as well as several injuries. Opelika Fire, Lee County Sheriff's Office, Opelika Police, Beauregard, Farmville, Southwest. This is an all-call event as multiple first responders are at the scene. Now, we understand there is a church that has been damaged. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around so you guys can see.
If you're in the Lugo area,
we understand on Lee Road 11 near Sanford Middle School, there has also been a church that was damaged. We understand a
very dangerous situation.
A triage center, a command center has been set up at Beauregard Fire Station number 3. And again, as first responders continue to comb the area looking for the injured. Like I said, we just saw, and I'm not even going to the left of me, there's a child on a stretcher and an IV bag is being hung. Opelika Police, Beauregard, Farmville, Southwest. This is an all-call. Again, we're at Marvin Parkway at Lee Road 38, where we just saw a child being carried in someone's arms. That child's on a stretcher, and they are hanging an IV from the back of a pickup truck. Again, as more injuries are being reported. Just a massive response from multiple East Alabama first responders. Again, a command post has been set up at Beauregard Fire Station number 3. They are working on the injured as best they can here, and then as soon as they can, transporting them to that location where they are being taken to local hospitals. So, and I'm not even going to the left of me, there's a child on a stretcher and an IV bag. I'm going to put the camera down right now. We have children being carried by their family. Farmville, Southwest. This is. We all okay? Again, we're at Marvin Parkway at B Road 38, where we just saw a child being carried in someone's arms. Church that has been damaged. You okay, baby? Stretcher, and they are hanging an IV from the back of the pickup truck. Again, as more injuries are being reported. Keeping the camera down. There's a massive response from multiple East Alabama first responders. Again, a command post has been set up at Boulevard Fire Station number 3. They are working on the injured as best they can here. Again, it's News 3's Elizabeth White. We're here on Marvin Parkway where a large tornado has ripped through this area. It looks like a bomb has gone off. We are hearing reports that there are multiple fatalities and, of course, numerous injuries. As we've been here, we've seen at least 3 children being carried in the arms of an adult. One child is receiving an IV just to the left of me right now. 2 other children are being put in a car to be taken to the hospital with an obvious head wound. You see right there in front of me, that's Chief McCarran of the Opelika Police Department, as well as Fire Chief Byron Prather with Opelika. Everybody is working together to, first of all, locate the people who may be stuck in their homes and the injured and get them medical treatment just as soon as possible. We heard Byron Prather in the earlier Facebook Live asking everybody to stay out of the area and also asking for your prayers. We are hearing reports that there are multiple fatalities and, of course, numerous injuries. As we've been here, we've seen at least 3 children being carried in the arms of an adult. One child is receiving an IV just to the left of me right now. 2 other children are being put in a car to be taken to the hospital with an obvious head wound. Bye, guys. Prayers with y'all. Prayers with y'all. You see right there in front of me, that's Chief McCarran. You okay? Police Department. You okay? Well, as Fire Chief Byron Prather with Opelika. You just saw the parents waving from that car carrying this to, first of all, locate the people who may be stuck in their homes and injured and get them medical treatment as soon as possible.
Okay, so that's Elizabeth White reporting. Elizabeth White talking about Beauregard being one of the hardest hit areas. There's Cody in there, and I apologize, Cody. I'm talking outside in front of you. But we'll go. Let's go right back to what this woman's going. Let's go back to the live.
Oh, that's a sweet reunion, isn't it, right there? Granny's okay. In the arms of an adult. One child is receiving an IV just to the left of me right
it's a little reuniting.
Other children are being put in a car to be taken to the hospital with an obvious head wound. Bye, guys. Prayers with y'all. Prayers with y'all. You see right there in front of me, that's Chief McCarran. You okay? Police Department. You okay? What have you seen up there? You just saw the parents waving from that car. Locate the people who may be stuck in their homes.
When I went in, the door was open and then it was closed tight, and I didn't.
Okay, so that's Elizabeth White reporting.
So
Elizabeth White talking about Beauregard being one of the hardest hit areas. There's Cody in there, and I apologize, Cody. I'm talking.
Were you alone in the house?
Yeah, just me and Ginger.
Let's go right back to what.
She was barking like she was going to do something to it.
Sweet reunion, isn't it? What about your neighbor's home? This is up on 38.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Y'all just pray.
Bye, guys. Prayers with y'all. Prayers with y'all. Love on your family. I'm so glad you're okay. You okay? Love on your family. You okay? What have you seen up there? You just saw the parents waving from that car.
Okay, we got our tornado warning down here in Barber County. Back to this, going into Stewart County. Described from Birmingham, or KBMX, is saying that there's some explosive intensification. We've been looking at it. It's very tightly wound, coming across 431 right now, south of Wailani. And Wailani, though you're not directly in the path of this, it's just to the south of 285 in Alabama. It's starting to come in and going to cross into Stewart counties in just a bit here. And Quitman and Randolph, just clipping those areas around Quitman County and Randolph counties. It's kind of traversing between two. So you're going Barber, you're kind of going back into Quitman and in Randolph. So it's the second time today that Randolph County had this. Stewart, not really. I think we lost that track, but we're going to continue this.
That is Quitman County.
Quitman County, right. So we're going to start with Quitman, and once it continues right along Georgia 39, and it continues to lift a little bit north and east of that area. Okay, so there it is. right here. You can see right where I'm pointing, right in this area here. So this is the actual rotation right at this area here. We take it just a little bit, about a mile out because of scan, so we keep ahead of it. Rather have an earlier heads up than not. Lumpkin, though, we take you even far up into areas of Randolph County, northern Lumpkin this time. We need to keep an eye out for, and maybe eventually, we're not going to go to Webster just yet, but it's still a little ways away from Webster County. But Lumpkin, I would start thinking about a safe spot. Beatrice area. This is sort of like what you guys had last week, but you had the severe thunderstorm warning. And here's some of the times. Let me just walk over this way so you can get a better handle of this. Sanford area, 12 minutes after the hour. Of course, that's just in a few minutes. It's 4 minutes after the hour. Beatrice, quarter after the hour, which is about 10
Hey,
minutes
Bob, we got
away.
another spin up on this line.
Same thing,
For parts of Ellaville.
Yeah, let's go up. So that is still continuing. So let's go back. The same areas hit. Ellaville, Alabama. Let's see what
It doesn't look that impressive.
No, I think what's happening is
It's something similar to our Barber County
Right,
storm,
and that's why
but we're
they got-
getting a high angle on it. So treat this like something is on the ground. That's how it's been today.
Yeah.
So Ellaville, tornado precautions.
Yeah, let's do it. In fact, could we go to, if you could shut off radars in level 2? That does look like it has something, but that's what they're saying. So if you're,
This one looks most concerning. Though.
yeah, that one's still very tight. The Ellaville, though, if you're in Ellaville, Georgia, right up through here, tornado warning, please seek shelter again. Here we go again. Could we get street level just to let those people know exactly
Yes.
Ellaville, where the rotation we're seeing, albeit not the best. And that scan, it looks like now if we can get that Fort Rucker scan, it's now Peachtree City. Now we're seeing it.
The middle Georgia radar is down.
Yeah.
This is coming from Peachtree.
Peachtree, yeah. Peachtree, now mid Georgia's done. So Peachtree is shooting over this a little bit. I don't know if you can lower the angle. It's at negative, it's at 0.5 now.
I'm going to try.
If you could click it off and then go south.
Fort Rucker is.
Get Fort Rucker.
It's not getting it
Yeah,
good.
it's not going to do it. Doggone it. Okay, so we can. That's good though, right there. I think that gives me an idea here. So we're south of Ellaville, Georgia, but let's track it from right about here, where that green net meet it. Yeah, that's good. Thanks, Cody. Take it here. We'll take it all the way up to areas a little bit northeast once you get outside of Harris County. So let's just give you an idea. At 9 minutes after, it's 6. In the next 3 minutes, Ellaville, all of Buddy and Ellaville, and this would include, I'm going to go south. This is part of Midland Harris, but Midland Harris just south of the Central Church area. I would say from County Line, just to be safe, County Line up to Highway, all the way up to Highway 19 North is what they usually says up through here. So that's what we need to do. So this is Sly County. And Sly County is Georgia Highway 19, slices right in the middle, and our friends in Ellaville need to just keep that in mind. But Harris County is good north, but south in Ellaville, we're seeing a whole line now going south and east of Harris County and all south and east of Muskogee, so you guys are clearing out. But Ellaville, certainly right along 26. This is downtown Ellaville, and that's not a good thing. Okay, so now
we still have a tornado on the ground in Barber County.
Yeah, Barber County is still a big deal here. We still have tornado on the ground. If we could split, if we can go with this, and we got trees down in Muskogee County, we're hearing now reports, but that could pose another hazard. But Lumpkin, Randolph County, I want you to keep in mind that would be our next big city here, and coming out of areas around Stewart and then going into these areas outside of that. So this is northeast Stewart going on a county line, going into Sanford, Beatrice, and Lumpkin. Once we get into the areas outside of this. So this is why we got like kind of multiple counties, kind of eclipsing both of them. I think you follow, you're clear, everybody's good across Barber County now. This has moved east, northeastward rapidly. Richland, Georgia, could go as north as about 31 minutes after the hour.
This is just interesting. The National Weather Service is saying their ASOS station that we use for temperature damage, or not temperature damage, temperature reports and wind has been hit by the tornado.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
That's what they said. It took a hit from the tornado.
Wow, so that's why we can't get any data coming from that. So we can't always rely on that. We're going by a lot of, boots on the ground, eyes on the ground, people getting us some reports.
They do confirm the Emergency Management confirms airport hit, US 431 impassable, and I assume that's just north of Eufaula.
That's the airport north of Eufaula. So now we know that airport has been impacted. So that's another area And that's why we're tracking it. We got to make sure that people are okay. Safe zones right now, Stewart County, if you're listening to us, we see it coming out of here and then continuing right along areas around Highway 27 where it kind of rolls and kinks through downtown Lumpkin. So Sanford, Beatrice, Lumpkin, all neighborhoods along this track, in between, outside, you name it, should be seeking shelter. And we'll take you as far to the east part of the county in Richland, Georgia. So these are areas here we got to watch for. There is a tornado debris signature clearly marked by the, I want to say, Fort Rucker radar here. So the TDS continues to show debris. We know this is a confirmed tornado. The air park down just north of Eufaula.
Oh, it's moving east.
Now it looks like it has got an east movement. Back up again a little bit. It looks like it is going a little east, so maybe we'll take it out of here. Let's see. It just all of a sudden, it's flanking out. Yeah, it's starting to kind of eastward. So we're going to take it south of Lumpkin. This is what happens with these tornadoes. Things can change. So Richland, I'm not saying don't get relaxed to stay put, because right now, just in case it takes a northeast trajectory, but what's happening is this whole line now, squall line is really tilting from northeast to southwest, and that's what's driving these eastward. Okay, so Chambliss, Weston, that may trigger a severe a tornado warning for Webster County. So Troutman, Weston, and Chambliss, there's a potential tornado here that can affect you this far east. We do have a tornado debris signature, and it's moving rapidly. It's coming out of Stewart County, and of course, that's what we're going to watch, which will eventually cross over 27 in the Troutman area. All north of Benevolence, but Benevolence, I'd be on the lookout. I'd be on the lookout if you're in Benevolence, in between Lumpkin and Benevolence. Lumpkin, a little sigh of relief there, but it's still, you got some winds coming along this whole line. But the TDS is concentrated, the ball is a little bit farther south, and that's what we look for, that signature. The velocity scan, it mimics that right on top of it. And again, we're going to continue to watch this as it continues to track over through just Clip and Quitman County and getting into southern Randolph County, and then going into likely now, I'll say Webster County, which would be more Weston versus Preston. And those would be the areas we need to watch. But it looks like it would be south of a line, south of Lumpkin, south of Preston, that far east. But areas to the south of that, it could continue more eastward. And see what's happening is clearly that angle, that tilt of that axis of this of the squall line, or the quasi line we call it, is moving south, and it's causing this spin and causing more of an easterly movement for these rotating storms. Troy, Louisville, Eufaula now, just south Eufaula, you're seeing a lot of thunderstorm activity, but it's moving out of the area. We'll get up to Stewart County, just south of Omaha. Right now we're looking okay with that. So you still got a tornado warning, but we're going to keep an eye on that anyway for areas around Americus. Right now, okay, Ellaville, Sly County in Georgia, this is our far east viewing area. This is outside of Marion County in Buena Vista. Chatco, you're going to be seeing more improving weather here very shortly. Back across Crawford, Columbus, all of Harris County clear now. But still some damage reports up in those areas, and then we'll continue to watch as it continues southeast. So this will be the end of it. Local time is 12 minutes. I said about 5:30, and it looks like this will continue to the bottom of the hour in Americus, this whole line, and we're 12 minutes after right now. Here are the confirmed tornado reports. This is the one. We actually had a couple. We have a funnel cloud this morning that was just outside of Albany. We're looking at that over in Lee County, Alabama. Our tornado confirmed. In our viewing area, we got a couple we're looking at. That one continued in Harris County. It's really the one storm, and that's why you have multiple damage reports with all this tornado. That would have been the one single tornado, and we're talking about this morning, long track tornadoes, very intense. That's why our enhanced risk. Right along 80, getting outside of Marvin, the Boot Hill, Lee County, Smiths, Alabama, continuing out of Smiths into areas of extreme, just clipping northern Muskogee, but really in the areas, like I said, around Smith Road and 185, and I wouldn't be surprised that they'll be up in our friends that are up in Ellerslie, Georgia, in Waverly Hall, so that would have tracked a little bit farther. But as we get more data, that'll be coming in. So that's the latest on the storm report. Stewart County now, as we were saying earlier, now under the gun, seeing the tornado warning. We said Richland. I still think Lumpkin and Richland, and clearly we're seeing that. It's all south of you. So if you're Lumpkin and Richland, you're okay right now. I doubt this would take a quick rotation. Physics would have it. It shouldn't do that, but never say never. But we are moving eastward now. Troutman, Weston, and Preston, we're going to put you in it now. And we're going to go as far east now into Webster County. It's your second time for Webster County today. So those are some big populated areas. So Weston to Preston, that's still going past 5:30 local time. 33 minutes and 39 minutes after the hour. Troutman, though, before that, Troutman, you're in that just before the bottom of the hour. It's 13 minutes. We're thinking about 27 minutes after the hour. Botsford, around 1:45. That would be the farthest. That would be the farthest. You can see a far little blue dot on the, over here in this part of the screen, right out here, Botsford. And that's getting out of areas of Webster County. And then we'll continue to watch areas of Sumter County. But right now, this is the only valid scan. We do have a confirmed tornado. We have a TDS, so we know it's on the ground. It may not be super heavily populated here. Pray it just hits just trees and some wooded areas, but this getting into some populated areas. You know, it's south of Lumpkin and Richland, great, but we got a lot of agriculture. We got a lot of farms in here, and we have a lot of good people that need to take certainly shelter now versus later, because the track of that is coming up right in the next at least 12 to 13 minutes by the time it gets over to Weston. And the reason why we're saying Preston is just in case this takes a little jog to the north and east, but what we've been seeing is this, I don't know how many scans since we said this, it is moving at a very good east movement right now. We need to certainly stay on that track. If we can double box it, we can go live in Columbus if that's not being too premature, and see that we have Justin Holbrook on the line, and I know a Holbrook, that's why I'm thinking I got two people, and he's going live right now where there's some tree damage right now in the Columbus, Georgia area. And again, this is something, we don't want to go on that one there. So anyway, we'll get some better information here in just a bit. Okay, so we'll continue to track this, and we're going to kind of move eastward. And you can see right where that is, where that's delivering. Let's just see how that continues to move eastward. So we continue from Preston, Weston, and Troutman, and the areas still look like 26, right before the bottom of the half hour, and right through Botsford, which would take us outside of Webster County, and we'll continue that. And here, right now, is actually your velocity scan, and it's showing us clearly where that TDS is. It's a tornado debris signature. This is a confirmed tornado. Even though we're not hearing reports just yet of it.
It's hard to see on reflectivity, but there is a debris ball showing up in our
it's all rain wrapped, like it's
reflectivity. It's very noticeable. I can see it on my off-air product radar.
Yes.
Not so much here, but there is a tornado ongoing right now in Stewart County.
Yeah, so we're going to continue. This is a very serious situation. This is still west of 27, moving rapidly right now, just north of the county line. To the south, where you see where Benevolence is. So we had it come out of areas around Randolph. Now we're now out of areas around Barber, Clip and Quitman, and now into areas outside of Stewart County's going into. So, and eventually going into Webster County in just a bit. And it will be in Webster County the way this thing is holding up. There's no question how fast this is moving, whether it's wind or whatever it may be. So everybody in this track, this cone, needs to certainly start thinking of your safe spot right now. You can see at the bottom part of your screen, what we're looking at is some damage in the Columbus, Georgia area. Some tree damage, a lot of tree limbs being snapped off. I'm wondering if this right here is Columbus. Does anyone know? This looks like Beauregard to me. But yeah, it's Beauregard. Okay, this is all Beauregard. Okay, so at least I know. Okay, we're looking at Beauregard in the bottom right part of your screen live right now. Pictures from Beauregard. Now, at the top of Beauregard, that may be Columbus, Georgia. That's Ellerslie. Ellerslie, okay. Top, okay, thank you for the confirmation. Okay, so we got right now Justin Holbrook, who's in the northeast corner of the screen. He is in Ellerslie, Georgia, where we're talking about Erie Drive. We're talking about Ellerslie Place. We're talking about areas around 315 that was hit. And now we're seeing significant damage from those folks there. And at the bottom is Beauregard. So these are two big neighborhood areas that we had some problems. We're going to come back where we're going to keep this track at the bottom. Southern part of Stewart and Webster counties coming up. But now let's go live with Justin Holbrook in Ellerslie, Georgia. Justin.
Hey guys, I'm out in Ellerslie, Georgia. I got here about 10 minutes ago. The first thing that I came up across was trees that were uprooted from the ground, and now I'm here off of a road in Ellerslie, Georgia. The guy actually behind me, his name is Herb White. He lives about a mile down the road, and he said he's just helping out, trying to direct traffic. I'm going to show you the scene right now so you can see people as they're trying to get through across this road. The problem is when you're on this road, it's right across from the Ellerslie, Georgia, Harris County Waterworks Tower. People are running out of room to go. There's trees on the road, as you can see right here behind me. as I said, once again, this gentleman right here, his name is Herb White. I had the pleasure of meeting him. He's just a guy who lives a mile down the road, and he's doing this out of the kindness of his heart. He just wants to help people try to get down, because right here along this, you can't see it, but there's down power lines. So people are having to maneuver their way around it, and Mr. Herb White right here has been a big help trying to get people around. So I'm gonna go across, see if what else I can find. I can see some trees down already. Looks like a family standing outside their house. I'm gonna try to go talk to them. It looks like a tree came down on their house, but we'll stay with you here in Ellerslie. But for now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio. Live on your side in Ellerslie, Georgia, Justin Holbrook, WRBL News 3.
Thank you, Justin Holbrook, still reporting live right now. And on Facebook, we're going to go now to Beauregard, where the worst damage has been reported and fatalities. We're thankful to report no reports of fatalities in Ellerslie, but we're looking at multiple fatalities. Look at this picture. This is devastating. This is absolutely devastating. This is the worst hit area by far that we've seen. We have 2 fatalities confirmed. We have multiple injuries in multiple houses that have been fully destroyed. This was a very powerful tornado. Where you saw Justin was in the end cycle of this storm here. This is when it was at its peak. And as you could see, we're live right now, and of course, Elizabeth White giving us this best analysis that we can see. But 2 people have perished after the tornado hit here in Beauregard, and what you worry about is the post-multiple injuries. I'd like to go back what Justin Holbrook was talking about, power lines down. Clearly, those power lines weren't still hot, and this is something we want to make sure that nobody goes near these power lines, because this is something that you could become electrocuted even 30, 40, sometimes 50 feet away. Meteorologist Jeff Kelly and I, in our past, when we used to work, we used to deal with monsoon down out in the desert Southwest, and we know that people can be electrocuted just feet away. But we're back to Beauregard, and you're seeing the worst damage today, the worst storm damage that impacted more people. Not downplaying anybody else who has had it, but we have lost 2 people from this tornado today in the Beauregard area in Lee County. We are fully involved in this right now. Multiple injuries. You worry about these post-injuries, if how people will have to be, we don't know how bad they were, or if these injuries will be life-threatening later, but certainly they were definitely the worst hit. It flattened this area completely. If anybody knows this area, it is kind of hilly and you're up a little high, but there's no trees left. I mean, everything looks like it's completely flattened completely, and it was from that tornado. And it was a tornado debris signature. It was one of the most volatile ones I've seen since, I think, Cody, was April 15 in this area around Crawford and Ladonia. We had one like this. You know, you can't guess, and it doesn't really matter. It's irrelevant, but we knew those were back as an EF3 and strong, but this one here is going to be that or even higher. You know, it's been years. I mean, 2011 even, to see this kind of damage this far south. So again, today was pegged to be a bad day. You're always, trust me, we always wish and hope and pray that I don't care if nothing panned out today. You'd prefer not. And here we go. We're back to Stewart and Webster County. Stewart County is what we're looking at right now, conditions just east of Highway 27, all south of Lumpkin. And this is now a tornado warning, and it's moving eastward, and it's going towards the western here. I think Preston, you're going to be okay. But don't let your guard down. And now we're going to be focused on Sumter County, on this easterly trajectory. A little concern about Sumter as this continues to come in. Does this get brought a little bit farther north? It has moved. Has it had a little northeast movement, Cody? I think just a tad.
It looks like it's barely.
Barely. Okay. The thing I worry about that, it's just the way, but I think the forward momentum of the line should keep it shunted farther south and east. So, but planes, I'm not saying don't panic, but have your plan. The way it's going, it could come close to planes. That's the only thing I'm concerned about, but we'll keep an eye on that. And this is a confirmed tornado. It seems like it's tightening, at least the velocity scan. We see tightening. The CC values are getting a little muddled here, but it's still there. There's still a TDS, and the TDS is real deal. So if we're seeing a TDS amongst that, there's still something on the ground. So we're continuing to watch that, and when it continues to go on 520, that cuts in the southwest portion of Sumter County. I'm not leaving you out Webster County here. We're just going to continue with areas of Webster. But first, we're back into Stewart County, and just passing 27. You can see it moving, that last little thing, and you can see how that polygon is ending. The new one begins. So you can see where the new one will continue across all of south central Webster County, to be more specific. So this still has a lot of energy, and it still has a tornado on the ground that we continue to see. So Weston, Center Point, Dumas, and Plains, Georgia, I will continue to look at this. I'm going to look at Plains all the way till this goes out, Cody, and we're going to keep it at the bottom of the screen. So if you're in Weston, 32 minutes after the hour, that's just roughly about 10 minutes away now. Right now, getting your most center part of your facility and keep yourself protected. Center Point, Dumas to 41 after, Botsford 44 after, and 47 minutes all the way through Plains. So again, this could continue, and it will continue because we continue to have its help from its friend, the squall line, to keep it moving rapidly to the east. So I would start thinking your safe spots in here. There are many reports, a lot of phones are down, so some people don't even have the luxury of even watching this on Facebook. You may hear of someone. Don't put yourself, all emergency responders are asking us to tell you right now, if you're safe, if your neighbors are safe, you feel safe, everyone's good, there's no reason you should be out. There's absolutely no reason anybody should get on the roads. You put yourself in harm's way, that's another hazard. We have emergency officials that are too busy working all over the place. And I'm including even places like Harris County. There's emergency man cutting tree limbs down. Everybody's been impacted to some degree or some level, but Beauregard hit the hardest. If we go to 280, a cell phone tower has been literally knocked down, and our own Chuck Williams right now is reporting. He's live. Chuck, let him get situated there. Chuck, okay, you don't hear this very often, cell phones down. Last time I heard cell phone towers down was in 2011.
Smith Station on US 280. We're on US 280, the Sunoco gas station, Buckwild Saloon. What happened when the storm came through here, the tornado, it knocked a large cell tower down that has the eastbound lane of 280 shut down. It took the roof off of the Buckwild Saloon. We talked to a guy named David McBride. David was in this pickup truck right here, and he was pulling up just as he saw the debris and everything. We'll have an interview with him later. But he was in this truck as it hit, and he said it was unbelievable. We also talked to the owner of the gas station, the attendant of the gas station, a guy named Charlie Patel. Mr. Patel was in there and got out just as the storm hit. And we've got interviews with him we'll come up with later, but Mr. Patel said that it was unlike anything he had ever seen. David was talking about how it was how it had the train effect. Mr. Patel. Mr. Patel is over here with a group. Mr. Patel, let me see if I can get him. I may not, but we'll see. I want to be careful of the wires.
Bad damage in the follow.
Mr. Patel. Mr. Patel. Hey, Mr. Patel, would y'all talk to us about what happened? Okay. Okay. We're trying to get one of the owners. He has just rolled up. Yeah. Yes, this. We're on live right now on WRBL. I'd love to talk to Mr. Patel about what he saw.
Yeah, we're both owners.
Yeah, Mr. Patel, come over this way. Let's get you real quick. There's a line here that you gotta be careful. Yep. He's trying to keep me alive. That's a good thing. Okay. These are the owners of the gas station. Wow, there's a TV right here. Okay, Mr. Patel. Okay, guys, we're on live TV. I would like to talk to you, Charlie, first. Charlie Patel was in the gas station as the storm hit. Tell me what you saw and what happened.
Just I'm scared. Just I'm on the counter, and 10 seconds in the tornado come and everything is gone. Everything destroyed.
The building almost exploded, didn't it?
Yeah. Everything building and everything destroyed.
How far out of it were you when it hit?
Just
he told me.
Yes.
Let me help you. Charlie told me when the tornado came in from the back, and when it knocked down the side wall, he managed to escape from the side door. So we're glad Charlie's okay, and I hope around the town here people's are okay. And you can build another store, another town, but my man Charlie is important to me.
And Charlie, when I saw you a few minutes ago, you still look like you're pretty shaken by this whole experience.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all have just gotten here to see him. I mean, y'all had a very emotional reunion. Tell me about it.
That's good for us. For main thing, Charlie, and the second thing is okay, whatever happened.
Charlie, David McBride, who owns the saloon, said you got in his truck just as it was happening. He was right outside.
Yeah,
Can you describe that?
Yeah, he's in with me. Outside, he's on the outside. Is in the next door, and he's with me, and after he's give me a little bit, just say, just you okay, and after I sit in his car, and after everything is start more.
Have you ever been through anything like this in your life before?
No, my first life in the first time, and I see the first time.
The store obviously looks like it's a loss.
It's a gone. It's a history now. The store's history now, and I'm so thankful to the saloon owner that he took a time, and he got my man Charlie, and took a time make sure he's okay. So I really want to appreciate his help, what he did for Charlie, and I want to thank him personally. I want to meet him, and I want to thank him personally.
Well, he's right over here. Let me see. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go get him over here. I'd like. Where's
David? Ma'am?
Mr. McBride?
The Sunoco gas station off 280, right outside of Smith Station, and of course Chuck Williams right now. He's walking over to the area. Let's go back to Chuck Williams and see what he's finding out over here.
Yeah,
They've broken out.
He's inside.
Yeah, he's inside.
Yeah, he's inside there right now.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Charlie's okay.
David.
The store's destroyed.
Mr. McBride.
I need you out here.
And we're on, the radio, TV stations here, so we're just telling them what happened.
Come, we get up here this way a little, guys. Where'd Charlie go? Okay. These guys were. I wanted to kind of get both of y'all together if I could.
Yes.
Stay here. Okay. Hey.
That's my tornado partner.
What did you call Charlie?
He's my tornado partner.
Y'all two wrote it out together.
My tornado partner, he saved me. I sit in his car.
And I mean, the two of y'all were the only two that were really in the middle of it, right?
On this hill right here.
On this hill.
Yeah.
And talk a little bit about it, Charlie. That's wow. Y'all were saying that David. They were telling the whole story.
David, I want to thank you for taking care of Charlie.
Yeah.
I mean, in a time like this,
Okay, you're hearing live right now the Sunoco gas station, Buckwild Saloon area where Chuck Williams is in Smith Station, hard hit areas. We also got areas around outside of Ellerslie. We told you 315 where it came close to that water tower right into Talbot County. A lot of damage up that way. So right in the bottom right-hand corner is Beauregard, which was hit the hardest. There's been 2 reported fatalities there. Our friends in Weston, you should be seeking shelter right now in Weston, Georgia. Right now, you should be seeking shelter now. We still have rotation. We still have a tornado. We're having, it's unfortunate, but our radar scans are not the best right now in here because we had one hits down to the south, but we do know that we still have confirmation of tornado through this area. So downtown Weston, you need to seek shelter immediately. Cody, if we can go ahead and we'll do a track on that, if we can get a little bit more street level, because we're now getting closer to Sumter County. And we don't have a tornado warning yet for Sumter County, but I'm still concerned. I mean, Americus, just stand guard. That's what we need. You need to just kind of sit back a little bit, Americus, and wait to see what the behavior of the storm is. Plains. But Weston right now, tornado likely on the ground. Preston, possibility of strong damaging winds and maybe a little weak rotation from the same system where it looks like either 2 things, either spinning off and splitting or it's just one big one. But we do have an in and out from the scan. So I'm going to think that this thing is almost like breaking in half, and we're watching to the south of that. So still Weston, you should get in your safe spot right now, and eventually we'll watch this continue. Hopefully it's just going to keep collapsing. but we're having it's real tough for us because of poor radar scans, but we're working on another source behind the scenes, knowing this needs to be watched. If you're in Plains, I would start thinking of a safe spot right now, and this would be western Sumter County. You're not under a warning yet, but there's a good chance it may be extended farther off. So Weston here, Center Point, you should be seeking shelter south of Archery, and just right before you get to the county line is what we're looking at right now. So we're looking at these areas around 520, and there it is, Weston going all the way to 308. The Croxton Crossroads are still well south of here. Top part of the screen, you're looking at Smith Station. That's Smith Station, Buckwild Saloon off of Highway 280 and Smith Station, and the Sunoco gas station next door, completely destroyed. On the bottom part, we go to Beauregard, just not far up the road, and they had the hardest hit. In fact, I almost described it as just completely devastated and the path of that tornado, and multiple injuries, 2 fatalities confirmed, and we're looking at just multiple damage reports that we can't even count, lost count of them at this point. Also, the Ellerslie tornado, we got Justin. I know that right now we do have, we do have our reporters on the scene. If we can we got Justin Holbrook. If somebody can get a hold of him and tell him to check out once you get towards the Talbot County line, needs to be looked at. They got hit pretty hard, because NWS, they're talking about how it was very hard to hit. So it must have been up and down that tornado, and then when it left Ellerslie, it really did its thing. And we were tracking that and looking at it. The tornado's coming over areas around Weston right now. It is coming right into the Webster County, western Webster County right now. So if you're in western Webster County, tornado likely on the ground around the Weston area. There's a lot of you watch, a lot of you here. It's passing over Weston now. Southwest of Preston, some wind gusts that could be rather strong, enough that it could do some minor tree damage to the north. But down here, right around 41, there's Weston. Center Point is our next area we're looking at as we continue to track what's left of that. Here's some good places here, street level, where we're kind of populated here. If we can get the street level, there we go. County Road 129, Ben Williams Road, Mill Pond Road. These are areas you want to seek shelter. County Road 7, this is areas as we get into Webster County now. So Webster County, County Road 7, County Road 129. If you're in these neighborhoods here, and please, these are areas here I would seek shelter as we're talking right now. And that would take you all the way back up to Harry's Circle, extreme northern part of that. But I don't see that being a point right now to be too concerned. Macedonia Circle would be the far-reaching point, east part of Webster County, that we would look at this. And Macedonia Church Road to County Road 25, and that would continue County Road 126. And will this continue to go into Sumter County? That's also something that we're looking at as well. Damage, again, you're looking at the bottom right part of your screen is Beauregard, Alabama. The hardest hit with fatalities and multiple injuries and damage that is just beyond a lot of folks' imagination that have not seen this in their lifetime. In north of that picture, we're in Smith, Alabama. I like to say, Smith Station, right around the Buckwild Saloon, and right at the Sunoco station there, that has been completely destroyed. The roof, as you can see, was lifted and collapsed right on side of itself. Some infrastructure left, but generally all destroyed. So now we're going to be talking about the tornado warning out, but winds with this, mainly a wind event. But even when you see this, sometimes you can see it cycle. But the nature of this is it's a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's what we're looking at when it comes right outside of Randolph County near Cuthbert. Just a little bit of weak rotation still around Dawson. That's back up a bit where we're just showing you. So Webster County relationship, farther back down Randolph County relationship. Shorterville, you can see us down near Fort Gaines. We're going to watch our friends down here for severe thunderstorm. I'm surprised this looks like it's more of a tornado signature here, and this is just all east of Abbeville, and this continues right along what we say 37. It's Georgia 37 when we get into Fort Gaines in Quitman, and of course these counties here. We get down south, more and more Dale and Henry counties off to the west. But Shorterville, Fort Gaines is what we're really looking at. And I know you know where Shorterville is, but if you're in Fort Gaines, you should be to seek a shelter right now. Right now. It was a severe thunderstorm warning. Looks like we're getting a little tornado. Severe thunderstorms generally produce tornadoes. Usually that's the case. So even though it's a tornado warning, a severe thunderstorm warning, that is a tornado signature. And we're watching that for Fort Gaines till about 43 minutes after the hour. It is very small and tightly wrapped, but still a little bit of a good rotation on that. And that's something that we need to keep a watchful eye as it continues right along the same path here right through Shorterville. So Shorterville, you know where that is? We do get people that can watch across the county before we get into areas around Fort Gaines. So Fort Gaines, you should be seeking shelter immediately. South part would be right around Georgia Highway 37 in Fort Gaines. So keep that in mind right up to that area there. So we are seeing some good rotation with that on the southern edge of this. The squall line is barreling through. If you have no rain now, it looks clear. East central Alabama, you're pretty much clear. And I'm just thankful. It can't have any more, folks. This is just, we don't need any more. But there's going to be a cleanup. And we don't have much time for daylight either, so this is going to be a long night. So I think our next view here with a potential weak tornado right on the ground, we need to look at this, and you could see Fort Gaines relationship and around Shorterville. Since Shorterville is sort of indirectly in our viewing area, we're going to be tracking this once we get into areas around Clay County. We want everyone just to sit tight while we're going to keep this up this track. It needs to watch for our friends here. Let's go back to Sumter. Good. Let's go out of Webster real quick, Cody, before we go live. Let me just see something. See what we got up there. It doesn't look like, let's see. It takes a second for this to update, so bear with us, folks at home.
Very broad.
Very broad. Okay. So Preston.
And here they go. They just warned the Fort Gaines storm.
Okay, Fort Gaines, as we just said, we're just on it. So Fort Gaines now, we'll get into Clay County in just a minute. It's around Shorterville. There's a tornado on the ground near Shorterville right now. And Fort Gaines is next. So we're going to watch if it's south of Fort Gaines or it comes up that way. But this is a very strong wind event. It's broadening out. It's broad, which means it's kind of weakening here at Preston, outside east of Weston. You guys are okay, but Plains, you need to be taking a safe shelter right now. We still do because there's still rotation with this. And as we track it eastward, that could put Americus in this track. Sumter County, that would put us just to the top of the hour, 6 o'clock Eastern time. So it's 20 minutes, less than 20 minutes away. Less than 20 minutes away. As far east as America, it's how fast this is traveling. Get in your safe spot. Up in the top part of your screen, if you're looking at home, you're looking at it, that's a cell phone tower down right on US 280. Could you imagine if a car was underneath that? This could have been even worse. You see, that is a cell tower that crashed right along 280. Look at that. That's just mind-boggling how dangerous that is. This was a strong tornado that created massive damage across areas around Beauregard as far south as Smiths, Alabama. This particular cell tower that went down in this area just to the south of this, there was 2 fatalities. And this is US 280 eastbound right now is what we're looking at. And again, breaking news here across areas as we discover where most of this damage is. Keeping everybody safe from the storm and making sure that post-damage doesn't make any other injuries to be present. And that's what we talk about most of all, is that anything you could do post-storm could actually really thwart the efforts of any of our first responders. And they constantly have reminded us to please do not go out. And as a result, and rightfully so, tomorrow, out of respect to those who lost their lives and the damage and the hazards that are out there, there is no school for Lee County tomorrow. I would think you would understand it, but there is no school for Lee County tomorrow. We'll keep you updated if that no school continues more than a day or two. I would assume it likely will, or parts of the county may reopen. But right now, all of Lee County schools are closed tomorrow. Eastbound 280, live looking at this, of a cell tower that is toppled over. And by golly, this is just could have been that part there. Although it's been bad all around, this could have presented another life-threatening situation, no doubt about it. Talbot County, we're investigating that too, from Highway 315 out of Ellerslie Place. That was also hit hard, along with Catawba, Fortson, Smith Road off of 185. Farther south, the airport, the air park north of Eufaula, completely annihilated. We're getting reports from hit really hard, and now we're focused in on our Clay County. Obviously, we're talking about as it comes out of Webster into the Fort Gaines area. It is getting broad on that last scan. That's I've always loved to see that, but it still could be a problem here. So the last scan, we're seeing it come together, but we are looking at this, obviously, as a tornado warning now. Even though the polygon of yellow is now from a severe thunderstorm, as I said, will produce rotation, will produce tornadoes in this case. And with damaging wind likely for Fort Gaines and a possible tornado on that track south of you in Fort Gaines. But Fort Gaines, heavily populated, that would take it through Zeto and right along Georgia 37 and 39, and we'll continue on that track. And with that track, that would take it to Zeto around 54 minutes after the hour, which is roughly about 11 minutes away. So if you're in this area, you need to seek shelter immediately. As we're still tracking this, we could go live. I think we go live with Elizabeth White. Is Elizabeth White out there for us? And we'll make sure, see if she's around. You see the Beauregard again you're looking at. You could see the first responders out there. You could see Department of Lee County Public Works getting out there, local contractors, people all pitching in right now and doing what's necessary to help out as a community. Again, these people that are out there, you can see that are certainly got some of their reflectors on. These are people who are used and accustomed to working with this. So the best bet is, unless you're called upon, to stay put, because this has been a situation where, and I think folks are doing well, where a lot of folks could actually become injured quite easily with all the debris around. You got nails out there, 2x4s, 2 confirmed fatalities, many houses down, and many injuries. And we haven't even gotten a final count on that yet. Lee County schools, as a result, have been closed tomorrow and likely extended, I would suspect. You're looking at a broad view here of Beauregard live right now and showing you how the trees, many of them are gone. Search and rescue now as the weather has improved. The weather is okay, although listen to me here, the winds are going to be picking up tomorrow. This is and behind this a bit, which adds another hazard for our first responders if any tree limbs crack or break. Let's go to Elizabeth White live right now. As, by the way, continue to watch us here. We're going to cut in back with Plains and Americas if this becomes more of a risk here for a tornado south. Back to Liz White now.
These first responders and volunteers can at least have some durable work gloves as they're going through this debris.
They've dropped the...
Let's go ahead. Okay, we'll come right back on here. Right now, that was Elizabeth White right now. She was talking about how they're prepared. You notice what she said. She made a real salient point here that the gloves that they have on, and when you get in a situation like this, how germane it is to have the right equipment. These first responders know how to dress. They know how to cover their hands. They got heavy work gloves. This is why the layman, that's you and I, is sitting at home and wanting to get out there. I know you do, but if you go out there and pose a risk on yourself, you're really hurting the search and rescue right now. We're in a search and rescue. We've had 2 confirmed fatalities. We're still trying to figure out who's accounted for and who's not. So this is why the first responders are out there, and by you going out, it could really hinder this. Clearly, this is the hardest hit. We've been talking about the multiple injuries. We're talking about 2 confirmed fatalities, and how many infrastructure damage reports have been insurmountable. We'll go back with Elizabeth now, because we're listening to her live, so we tap in to see what she's saying now.
I see some people are wearing those really thin blue medical gloves, but right now it would be nice to try to get them some durable work gloves as they, oh God, they just rescued a dog. They just rescued a dog. Oh, bless his heart. They just got a dog out. Hi, puppy. Is that your baby? Hi. Oh, baby. Yeah, they need some work gloves up here.
You see stuff happen.
Okay, so we go back live right now. We're Elizabeth White. What she's doing, she's gathering information and data. So you may hear her drop out occasionally while we're Facebook Live with Elizabeth White. She's with our Auburn Bureau, and again, okay, we have a confirmed tornado now. This is the story of the day of Beauregard. We continued search and rescue here. We got to go back live here. We can keep the pictures up. Confirmed tornado.
Even though there it is.
There's our TDS. We finally got some good radar signatures here. We're going to take it southeast of Fort Gaines. Southeast of Fort Gaines, you're almost clear of Fort Gaines, but Zeto, you need to be getting in your safe spot like immediately. We're going to continue this track as it goes into areas around Cuthbert, which will be southern Randolph County, and we're going to watch this if it continues on this track. If we get into southern portions of Sumter. The Sumter one that we had earlier has seemed to decrease in intensity. That's some good news, but we could have another round coming up at the end of this. But at this point, I think with the squall line coming in north and west, this may end up going a little bit more eastbound to Moy. And if it goes to Moy, that's on Georgia 216. That would be the far east point. So we have a confirmed tornado southeast of Fort Gaines. Confirmed tornado southeast of Fort Gaines. And that would be coming into the Zeto area, Sutton's Corner, and the Moy area. The Mount Hebron Road is that small area up through that area that's a little bit more populated south of Coleman. So if we roll it back, let's see the direction in which this is moving. Of course, that scan is just, oh, yeah. I wish we can get a scan that could just be a little more reliable on that one. Okay, right there, I see it now. So it's back right here, south and east of Fort Gaines. Perfect location, right where my finger is, right in this area here. And now there's a TDS, a tornado debris signature, confirming that tornado with lots of debris being lifted up in the air. Here's some of the tracks that we're looking at. Zeto at 54 minutes. That's in 4 minutes. 4 minutes. If you're in Zeto, take shelter right now. Seek shelter immediately. Carnegie, right about 5 minutes after the hour, seek shelter immediately. Shivers Mill, Goff's Mill, all the way coming up about 10, 12 minutes after the hour. And by the time we get to Aycock Mill, that's about quarter after the hour. Seek shelter immediately. Seek shelter immediately. Pardon me. There we go. Okay, so we still watch this. So Fort Gaines is out of the clear. What I would say right now, and I want to keep, is there a way, guys, we could keep this on while we go live, or you can switch the boxes if you could put our radar full, because I talked to people in Zeto, and I'm not going to say, well, you don't matter, so we're going to go somewhere else. But let's keep them up until we get there. So we got a little bit of time, and we could go back live for a second to keep everyone updated in the other areas, because we're trying to cover everybody here the best we can, but keeping safety of everybody first. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. So if we continue this track here, again, that even goes as far as Doverville, Aycock Mill, Goff's Mill, Shivers Mill, and Carnegie, all the way to the top, and perhaps even 20 minutes after the hour. So we take this full, but we could go into the, there we go, to CC. This is our debris detector, if you will. This is our correlation coefficient, and we are looking at Zeto. So I'm going to stay right here for our friends in Zeto. Zeto, you need to be seeking shelter like right now. Right now, you should be seeking shelter. This is a confirmed tornado. It's just coming south of Highway 37 into the Zeto area right now. And again, we got at least, there's about a good 100 people population in here, and a lot of residents here that we care about. So we want to make sure you guys are good. And then eventually getting farther east into Sutton's Corner, which is pretty busy as well. It's a busy intersection coming on 27 and 37 intersecting. So we take you outside. Fort Gaines, you're in the clear now. So if you're at Fort Gaines, you're good, even though the warning's still showing a polygon. It's just getting out of that area. We're going to continue this track. As you can see, once it comes out of areas around Clay, we're going to take it into Randolph. It clips the northern portion of Calhoun, but we're going to be looking at areas in northeast Clay County. And if it continues through Sutton's Corner, potentially could get into areas as far north as Carnegie. But at this point, it needs to be watched for Carnegie, and that's getting into southern Randolph. Shivers Mill, I think you're on the far end, but you should just be thinking about your plan. And then Aycock Mill around Georgia 41, that's taking it out as far east as we can. So each scan is separating a little bit, and this is over Zeto right now. If you're in Zeto, there's a tornado debris signature indicated, and there's a tornado somewhere right in that area. So we're hoping and praying for your safety. Just hopefully you're in your safe spot here, and everybody just to the east of Zeto now should be doing the same. So we can take it from that scan as well. So we broaden it out just a little bit more, and to give some perspective, Randolph County, Cuthbert being on the north end. I don't think Cuthbert, you have anything to worry about with this, but never, this is going to stay farther south for you. Sumter County still under severe thunderstorm warning, but honestly, Americus, not downplaying a severe thunderstorm warning, Americus, you're not seeing a tornado, but we do have strong winds potentially with this, and those winds could create some damage to some small tree limbs and trees, so keep that in mind. Everybody that doesn't see any green or any red or yellows on your radar, you're clear. You're clear. It's all cleanup. We got in Lee County search and rescue right now, 2 confirmed fatalities, and the air is clear right now, thank goodness. And then we're looking at the potential, obviously, behind this for more winds to follow, especially into tomorrow's first alert forecast. Tornado warnings are out of the area right now, except for down here in Clay and going into Randolph County, and that would be southern. So Fort Gaines, you're clear. County Road 19, anybody along 19 south of 37 should seek shelter immediately. It's now tightening up again. We do still have a TDS, which is a tornado debris signature. You see Cody winding it back and moving it forward. It is moving almost eastbound.
Losing debris.
Losing debris, yes.
So that's good.
Yeah, and that's a good sign. We look for that because basically what's happened, debris is falling out of the sky, the scan is losing it, so the angle of the scan in the sky is not picking it up, so that means it's falling. And when we see very bright debris signatures, that scares us. Sometimes it gets lifted up high and it's being dumped somewhere else. But at this point, this appears to be having a weakening phase, but we don't get off of it. Obviously, we're on this the whole time. So we're going to let's put a track eastbound right along 37, Cody, and we'll take that all the way to 41. And we're going to keep it here, and I want to go live, if we can, to either Chuck Williams or Elizabeth White. And if we can go ahead and put this in a split screen. Okay, let's go to Chuck Williams right now, and we'll keep this up, and let's go to Chuck. Okay. Okay, so let's go right now to Chuck Williams. Chuck.
Hey, it's Chuck Williams, WRBL News 3. We're about 1.5 miles east of the Lee County Flea Market. We're on US 280, and as you can see, it's a mess. This cell phone tower, this is American Tower cell tower that's right here next to the Buckwild Saloon, the Sunoco gas station, has gone down. It's blocking the eastbound lane of 280. About 15 minutes ago, law enforcement, looks like Lee County sheriffs, have opened up have started diverting traffic onto the westbound lane. The westbound lane of 280 is now a 2-lane road. It's backed up in both directions. Cars are moving fairly slowly, but they are moving, and you can see it looks like it's backed up almost all the way back to the flea market on the eastbound lane of 280. About 2:30, I think. Bob would have to give me a correct time on that. It looks like a tornado, an apparent tornado, came through this area of Smith Station. It just about exploded the roof off of the Buckwild Saloon, an establishment that's been in business since the early 1980s. Bar was still functioning. It really was interesting. We talked to the owner, David McBride, who came up just as it happened, and he was in his truck when the winds and the storm hit. A guy named Charlie Patel, who is the co-owner of the Sunoco gas station, was inside, got out just as his building popped, and he described a horrific scene. He got into the truck with David, and as David said, he and Charlie became hurricane friends very quickly. But if you look, 280 is a mess. I mean, it is going to be backed up for a while. If you can avoid US 280 in the Smith Station area, my advice to you is do it. We got on the scene about an hour ago. It looked like there were storm chasers here that were getting footage just as we were getting here. They were leaving. And one of the things that Charlie McBride told me was that he talked to one of the storm chasers, and this guy had a drone up working over the gas station in Buckwild and even down here into this area where the cell phone tower is. This whole area, if you look at it, I would say is probably 1/10 of a mile, maybe a little further, maybe 2/10 of a mile. And the pattern, you can see the pattern. These pine trees, they look like loblolly pine trees. These pine trees have just been snapped like they were toothpicks. and the path, you can see the path from just the other side of the cell phone tower. But you look up here, we're looking up at Buck Wild Saloon, we're looking at the Sonico gas station. Both of those buildings have been destroyed. There's no question about that. And you can see where it went across 280. You can see on the other side there are more pine trees that are just absolutely snapped. It's just, you look at it, you look at this cell tower, and it's a massive tower. I have no idea how tall it is, but it's a pretty massive tower, because when it fell, it looks like it's probably about 75, maybe 50 yards off of the 280, and it went down all the way into the median of 280. So, you know, that's got to be 150 foot at the very least. I mean, and it's right here as you get on this hill area of Smiths. There's two big hills there, and there's a little valley dip. This hit on the easternmost hill area of 280. I know Kevin's panning now, sort of showing the stuff, and if you look back, it looks like there's some houses and tree damage back behind the cell phone. So this is Chuck Williams, WRBL News 3. We'll go to Liz White over in Beauregard.
That's our first priority, to get help to those who need it right away. We've got county road crews coming in. We've got other area agencies assisting us with helping clear the roads, with traffic control. We've got a lot of the EMS folks in, and they've been transporting individuals. I know we've had several injuries taken.